Hey everybody, welcome back to another all these spoilers movie review. We just saw The Legend of Tarzan. Actually, that's almost an accurate summation of my experience, but we'll get to that in just a minute. This is the all spoiler video, so it's spoilers, 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 spoilers. We're going to talk about anything we want to talk about in this movie, so if you don't want spoilers, there's a link below in the description or something's popping up. You can check out our no spoiler video, and then, come on back and check this out after you've seen the movie if you're going to check it out. Cool? Cool? Everybody gone? Excellent. Okay, so, it's weird, it's daylight. I mean, it is weird. We saw it at like 6, so an hour earlier makes such a difference, but... Anyways, in case you didn't see our no spoiler, let me just recap my general feelings about this, which is it had all the elements to be a really amazing film and was just kind of poorly directed and edited. It wasn't executed as well. It didn't come together as cohesive. My expectations may have been a little higher than they should have been for the film, because the performances are fantastic, locations are fantastic, visuals are fantastic, but somehow it just fell a little flat for me.
I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, and again, to be clear, I'm not saying I didn't like it or I hated it. It didn't live up to what I wanted it to be. Because even
about what I expected it to be.
Yeah, maybe I was just hoping for a bit more of a surprise. All the stuff, all the major plot points are basically in the trailer. The action is done in that style where there's no you'd think you'd almost get kind of sweeping grand shots to show up the location and everything. It's all quick cuts of close-ups and blurs, and you can't, it's hard to follow the action.
Some scenic shots.
Well, you get scenic shots, but not in the action scenes. Like some of those face-offs, like when Tarzan has to fight his brother gorilla, there should have been some kind of tension, kind of arcing camera moves around them, and then moving in and all this stuff. But it was so jump cutty, because they go running at each other and jump in slow motion, and the camera literally it's cut, 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 and then they collide, and it's oh, that was really overdone. And they were trying to they were trying to build the action through the cutting in those scenes instead of just having really fun, cool choreographed action, which, since it was such a physical kind of fight of beast versus beast kind of thing.
Well, this not kind of come down to budget, and
this movie had a budget. They could have afforded more shots. They didn't all need to be those tight close-ups. But again, maybe that's maybe I'm being nitpicky. Maybe it's just.
I'm just wondering how hard it would be, because it looked like they were actually filming in the jungle.
I don't know how much of that was actually filmed in the jungle. The effects have gotten so good about cheating that stuff today. I mean, you remember the Jungle Book. And that whole thing was done on a stage with a couple of trees. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know about this. I haven't seen the behind the scenes. I'm sure they did some stuff in real locations, some of the grassy plains of Africa and stuff. Yeah. I'm sure some of that was real. But I don't know. In the jungles, it's with that kind of budget, it's typically more practical and cost efficient to do that in the studio with effects, and safer, because you're not worried about all the thousands of poisonous creatures, and all that kind of stuff.
But come on, where are you going to find a handy supply of ants to use as stitches? I mean...
Right. And you know what? They were way better than the Crystal Kingdom ants. They looked pretty damn real. So that was pretty funny. But Sam Jackson...
See, now I'm wondering if you can actually do that.
Right? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. There might have been some truth to that. But look, Alexander Skarsgård, fantastic. I don't think this movie is going to make that much money, unfortunately. I think more so, not even because it's a good or bad movie. I just don't think there was a lot of interest in this to begin with, no matter how good or bad it was. Judging even by our theater screening, where there's 4 couples in there, well, it's early, but still.
6 o'clock on a Thursday.
Yeah, but still, I mean, I don't hear people talking about it on the social medias or whatever, hyping it, so, which is a shame, because Alexander Skarsgård is excellent as Tarzan. I'd love to see more of him. Margot Robbie is fantastic as Jane, although, as we've joked, she is,
Harley Quinn's great-great-grandmother.
Basically. So actually, if anything, this movie got me more excited for Suicide Squad to see more of her as Harley Quinn, because I saw it before, I saw her being Harley before, but now I really can see her being Harley, and I'm even more excited for it. Sam Jackson was fun. He had some great, funny one-liners. Christoph Waltz, great villain. 3D, CG, all that stuff's excellent.
One of the more interesting weapons for a villain.
Yeah. yeah, I don't know about that. That thing seemed like a magic whip at times, because I'm like, he was like 20 feet away from it when she like tried to grab it off the table, and somehow it instantly whipped around. I know, but like it was clear that he was not attached to that thing at all. Like he had set it down completely and was stepping way away from it, and she's like, whoo, and before you know it, she's like Spider-Man wrapped up into it. I'm like, no. and then like at the end, it was a little ridiculous because I was talking about writer's convenience and stuff. Like he gets around Tarzan's neck and ties it to the boat, and Tarzan looks like he's sitting there strangling. And I'm like, what the hell? Nothing is holding Tarzan's body, nothing's holding his arms. Why is he not like, scooching back so it's not strangling him? Of course, I guess then he exploded it, but
the deck was tilting, it was wet.
Yeah, but I mean, but there were poles right there. He could grab the rails and just pull himself back and not be choking.
And also, when you're choking, you don't always think straight.
True. But I mean, come on. I mean, I don't know. That's the kind of stuff that annoyed me about the finale part.
Here, let me choke you and let's see what happens.
Yeah, so like that finale is kind of writer's convenience left and right. I mean, like through the whole thing, Jane is like this strong woman. No, I'm not going to be the damsel. I'm not going to scream for Tarzan. Until the end, when she's screaming for Tarzan.
Well, she's going like, yo, dude, I'm over here.
I know, but
it's a chaotic scene.
Yeah, but that still annoyed me a little bit.
Well, is he supposed to just find her in the middle of a bunch of wildebeest?
Yeah, he's Tarzan. I don't know. For some reason, by the time we got to that, I was annoyed by it.
Yeah.
I mean, again, that's just me, and it's just, I don't know, but like you saw that.
Still, yes, you see it in the trailers, but still, it's a pretty awesome looking scene just to watch.
Yeah, okay, yeah, except again, all those charging beasts, like they have a line of those like machine guns set up. And I'm like, no one's gonna fire a single bullet? Because those machine guns would probably tear through that horde before they trample you. No. Really? You don't think so? Did you see
how wide that line was?
Yeah, but I mean, they had a line of machine guns just as wide.
Again, you got people who were panicked too. They're sitting here.
I know, but again,
and in case you didn't notice, they were like running through the buildings.
Yeah, I know, and that I mean, it's a cool visual. I have some trouble with some of that stuff, but
it's just like if I see a herd of wildebeest running through what seems to be the most solid building in the area. I'm like, yeah, is there like a dinghy I can get into?
Yeah, of course, granted, that was long after they broke through the machine gun line, but whatever, I'll get over it. That was just a little bothersome for me. And then, but there was one moment, though, that was a bit ridiculous at the very end when the steamboat thing blows up and somehow there's still a fireball. Okay, I'll let that go. Maybe there was some kind of fuel, I can see. But, Sam Jackson was like way over there on land with the machine gun, and he's like, like there's some giant explosion wave coming his way. It's like, no.
Yeah, the exploding steamboat was overdone.
Yeah,
because you get like that pulsar wave thing, and
right. But
it's just like, was there a mini Death Star in there?
Right, and even that when they show the big wide shot and you can kind of see where he was versus where the boat was, it's like even with the over the top thing they showed, it still came nowhere near where he was. Yeah. So it's little beats like that make me wonder about the director. Like it's David Yates. I meant to look it up and see if he'd done other movies that I had similar feelings or issues with, but I'll do that on my own time, I guess, and we'll figure that out for a rewatch. But yeah, so so I was a little bothered with some of the writer's convenience, the plot convenience in the finale, but I mean, it was still kind of exciting, kind of thrilling. Although I'm surprised that they showed so much of that in all the trailers. Like that was a big hook in the marketing. Mm-hmm. Usually you don't show very much from the final battle in your trailers. But again, none of the other battles were quite that impressive. Like even when he had to fight his brother ape, like that was just, it's kind of done and over pretty quickly. There was nothing really exciting about that.
In some ways, though, that seems more realistic.
Yeah, but I mean, this is not a movie of realism. You know what I mean? This is the Legend of Tarzan. I mean, the most exciting part of that fight was the joke about Sam Jackson licking the ape's nuts. I mean, which was really goddamn funny. You look like you were gonna lick them. You look like you were gonna do it. Yeah. Yeah. So.
Oh, God.
Oh, did I just gleek all over?
Look at that.
Oh, I did. That's one way to get your woman wet. Thank you. I deserved it. I could not let that just, yeah. Sorry about that. I'm passionate. I'm passionate about Sam Jackson joking about licking gorilla nuts. I don't know. Hey, no, it's too early to get out of this review. We got more to talk about. Trust me, I'll say something stupid again in a minute.
So, actual plot line. I'm quite pleased that they didn't go like linearly. I don't think I'm saying that word.
Linearly. But now I'm confused.
There's too many damn L's in that.
I know. Now I'm even worried. Like, is that even a word? Actually, I know what you mean. It wasn't told in a linear fashion.
Yes.
There we go.
Because you're not going from shipwrecked family, parents die, baby raised by apes, found by English people. He's a lord, taken back to England. Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice that we started basically with him. Well, actually, we did start on the island with Christoph Waltz, going and having the entire military he was with get wiped out by those tribes people, and then he's like, "Oh, I'll bring you Tarzan to get your diamonds." And
I'm kind of wondering how he got back home.
Yeah, by himself. Yeah, because they slaughtered everybody. That's a very, very good point. But then we jump to Tarzan as Lord Greystoke and all that stuff in modern times. And then, it kind of flashes back a few times in the movie to show some of his growing up and upbringing.
And like I said, and actually when they first showed Tarzan at the very beginning, again, as Lord Greystoke, just the little mannerisms I love, because he still kind of holds his hands like this. And
that was cute.
Occasionally just kind of... chuffs.
Yeah, that was cute. Yeah, and then also too, when they first go on their expedition back to Africa, I did notice that he looked really awkward in his clothing, and I was wondering, they even made a joke about it in the movie, so I was wondering if that was a design choice, which I guess it was. Yeah. That he was in Africa, he was in his home, but he looked so out of place because of the clothes just looked weird on him. Yeah. But once he starts shedding clothes, it looked totally fine. I'm watching her expression closely, see what kind of agreeing she does with that. No,
well, let's face it. Most English style was not, devised for a 6 foot tall Adonis.
Yeah, true that. But it was cool, and it was neat to see his tribe make friends, and I liked all the characters. Yeah. And so basically they're building railroads, and this guy's gonna build this army because the king is bankrupt, and if they can have the diamonds, they can pay off the debt. But then they have an army, and they can rule Africa. Is that pretty much? Rule the Congo at least. Okay.
Belgium got control of the Congo Basin, tons of resources and stuff, but underdeveloped as fuck. So getting anything out of there is a bit tricky. The idea is to develop railroads and build a bunch of forts so that the king can send an army in of mercenaries to basically take over that area and mine it and kill all the elephants and all that fun stuff.
Which, speaking of elephants, by the way,
enslave all the black people.
Yeah, pretty much. Which thank you, Tarzan, for stopping it. This is a thought I had that I was going to tell you, and I might as well do it on camera because you'll appreciate it. While I know this is completely impractical, it would not be good for that animal, there is a part of me now that kind of wants a pet baby elephant. I would never do that for so many reasons, but that baby elephant was so cute. And I was like, if I had a pet, a baby elephant would be fun. Obviously, it wouldn't be for the elephant.
And they don't stay babies.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Those are the two big reasons why I would never do it. There's plenty of other reasons, but that thought just ran through my mind.
I'm not cleaning up after it.
Yeah, well, I just thought she'd think that's cute, because she's always like, one day you'll want a cat. It's like, baby elephant, maybe it's cute.
Okay, as much as I love cats, and I'm going look at the fuzzies. At the same time, I'm sitting here going after you've been rubbing all over those lions, you're going to smell like lions, and lions stink.
But that was really cute, though, when he saw it.
Was cute. I just don't want to smell it.
Yeah, but then the way when he first meets Jane, that was really cute, too, because he's like... And she's like, I'm not sure my father would approve. And then he smells his way down her body, and she's like, whoa, no.
Mr. Wildman, bad man.
Yeah, bad wild man.
No, don't run away.
So that was really nice. And again, it's not supposed to be a realistic movie, but because it worked for this movie, but it's probably not real that a Jane Porter like that would really exist in that time. Maybe. But, she was very modern American woman.
in the middle of Africa.
That's a good point. And you know what? In that culture, in that time, if you wanted to be a free, independent woman, you probably had to fucking move to Africa, to the wilds of Africa to do it. So, thank God it's not the case anymore, but yeah. So she was really good. And again, locations, design, all that stuff, you know, extras, the freeing of the slaves, the fight. Oh my God, when Tarzan takes on those soldiers in the back of the train. And he's like just punching them through the walls and shit. And then like the one soldier like punches him in the back and it like doesn't even make him flinch, and he just turns around and looks like, really, dude?
And then punches him through the side of the
yeah. Like, I mean, that stuff was a lot of fun. But I don't know. I think maybe I was just expecting more of that kind of stuff. And I pretty much did not get more of it. So again, I think really my problem for this movie is my expectations more than anything. Because it's a good movie. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to seeing it again with proper expectations. I will say that much.
Actually, I've never actually read any of the Tarzan books.
I haven't either. All my knowledge is based on just glimpses here and there, and then watching the Disney Tarzan last night.
You don't have to tell us that you haven't read anything. We already know.
I've read like hundreds of Star Wars novels.
Okay,
and like
outside of that?
two Stephen King short stories. I always wanted to be the guy that made The Mist into the movie until I saw Frank Darabont do it, and then I'm like, nope, I could not have done it as good as he did. But anyways, that's a different review, different time.
But I'm kind of curious to see how the pacing of a Tarzan book compares against the pacing of the movie, because in some ways if I had to guess, I think there might be some similarities.
Yeah, maybe. But it's still, you know, as a filmmaker, you have to think you're making a movie for the modern audiences and all that stuff. So, I mean, I don't know. There's issues there. The other thing, too, is the CG was excellent, particularly on the animals. It's every bit as good as the Jungle Book CG. You know, the gorillas looked absolutely real, totally believable, and, you know, integrated extremely well.
Yeah.
You thought they were real. I mean, if you didn't know better, you would think they were real. So that was really good. Other than that, I think maybe the only other, I do want to touch on the mating call joke. That was pretty cool. That there's a moment when it sets up early that first time we meet Jane, Tarzan, you know, he comes back to his manor and she sees him and she's like educating these school children about animals and stuff, and she's like, what does my favorite bird sound like? And then you hear Tarzan imitate perfectly a whatever bird it was.
Yeah.
So that was a good way to kind of get into, he can do the animal mimicry and kind of talk to the animals. Which in the Stampede was funny that even he had his gorilla brother helping herd the things, so that was cool. But then later when he's with Jane and she's just walking into her own old house in Africa, and then she hears a bird call or whatever, and she's like, oh, this bird's mating call. And then there's another thing, she's like, oh, this mating call. And then another thing, this mating call. And then Tarzan shows up, and obviously they get it on. But it does have a great callback at the very end. This is how Christoph Waltz gets it. At the end is, you know, he's got Tarzan strung up with the rosary thing, and he kind of makes a sound like, which almost sounds like choking. And Christoph all arrogantly is like, what was that? And then Tarzan just says, mating call. And you see all these fucking alligators, crocodiles, whatever. I don't know my animals, swimming towards him, and they get him. Again, this is an area, granted it's a PG-13 movie, they wouldn't do this, but I would have liked to have seen. His death wasn't as satisfying because they had to keep it family friendly.
Yeah.
So that was a minor complaint on that end. So I would have liked to at least seen Tarzan get a good punch in on him or something, because I don't think he ever even got a hit in on Christoph at any point, did he? Now that I'm thinking about it.
No.
Yeah, so I mean, that was a little disappointing. As a matter of fact, they kind of maybe it's not a Disney movie, but they may have over Disney-fied him a little bit now that I'm thinking about it, because I think the only people what am I talking about? I was about to say something really stupid and contradict myself. No, he punched plenty of soldiers. Okay, never mind.
I take plenty of Africans.
Yeah, good point. I take it back. Yeah, I don't know where I was going.
Yeah, you kind of forgot about that big fight scene.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because we didn't actually talk about that the guy, the leader of the tribe that wanted him
basically put a bounty on his head.
Right, because he had killed the tribe leader's son, but it's because the tribes used to hunt the gorillas, and that son had killed his adopted gorilla mother.
Yeah.
You know, so it's one of those escalations. If it was a comedy, like if somebody was parodying it, there should be a scene where it's like, yeah, well, your gorilla mother killed my grandfather. Yeah, well, your grandfather killed her father. Yeah, well, his father killed my great-great...
How did you all manage to breathe?
Right, exactly. But I don't know, it's just a silly rampage, running thought in my head, so...
Yeah,
but I think that's pretty much about it. So, I mean, there's not a lot to really spoil, because they showed you a lot of it in the trailers, but...
Actually, there was the bit where, when Jane actually escapes.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, that was...
It was cool, but it was also kind of almost unnecessary. Because, she's getting... Well, no, actually, okay, yeah, we'll go into this. So... They capture Jane, they capture some of the tribe to use as porters, and one of them is like her really close friend. They basically both escape together, and then she's like, oh, they'll follow my tracks, you go off and get help, separates them. And then she runs to some gorillas and has to like cower, and then they capture her again. So her escape was kind of useless. Now, you could argue that because she helped the other guy escape, that it was important.
Yeah.
But how much did that really contribute? He did come back with some people, but...
He came back with a shit ton of people.
It didn't look like a shit ton to me.
Like imagine the horizon with a bunch of different tribes all ready to come down and attack. The ships were gone like, oh fuck, we're not doing that for free.
I get all that. It didn't connect for me in the movie. I mean, in hindsight, I can see that, but it didn't connect that he brought all those back.
Yeah, she told him, go get all the tribes.
Because he showed up on the train with like 20 other people. Like they had hijacked the train.
No, he wasn't on that train.
You were right. Now that I'm thinking about it, because that was something else that bothered me, is they showed the lines of tribes up on the hill. And he had this, the first shot was awesome, because he had like this, here we are, and like the sun kind of lens flared behind him and stuff. But then it was weird because later they cut back to it again and he still had that exact same expression. I don't know, for some reason that set a little funny with me. It's like they used an alternate take so they would have that shot there. It was like, it wasn't something they shot for the movie. They just realized, hey, we need to cut back. So let's grab this take and do it. The performance was so similar in the two takes, it just felt weird with the time apart. But okay, you're right. But I didn't quite, it wasn't as followable in the movie for me. But you're right. Okay, cool.
Okay,
all right.
I got it.
Yeah, well, again, there's some, I get some things, I don't get other things. Maybe I was annoyed by somebody crunching popcorn. I don't know. It was only annoying a little bit in the beginning, but, some people are just really loud popcorn eaters, but...
There was somebody
They were on the other side. They weren't on your side. Like she would notice anyways. All right, well, I think if we're getting into me complaining about theater goings, that's probably it's time to wrap it up. So, all right, guys, well, this is the spoiler video, so if you've seen it, you want to talk spoilers away. Let's do the comment thing. Let me know I'm wrong, because I do want to see this again. I'd like to see it do well so we can have more, because I loved this cast. I'd love to see it get bigger and more awesome. Other than that, thumbs up of encouragement is always encouraging. That's why I call it the thumbs up of encouragement. Subscribe if you're new here, because we do all kinds of fun, nerdy, geeky things every single day here on the TheEricButts channel. And share with your friends, because when you're traveling through space, you need friends. Spock, what are you doing, Spock? Bones, have you told them about the Patreon? If you love this channel and you want more, you do not get enough, then check out the link for my Patreon. You might like what you find. There might be something on the wing. Have no idea why I've decided to finish this video as a bad William Shatner, but I've scared Mary off, so I've succeeded. So I will get out of here. We will see you guys later.